Wow, it feels so good to be back with you guys. It has been quite the past few months. I don't know how long I've been inconsistent for, but it has been a struggle bus over here. I have been dealing with so much around me. For the past month, I've been having some health issue that I'm not really sure what's going on. But I want to say early December, I just started to be nauseous every single day and have headaches and brain fog and just I don't know, just not myself. It felt odd, just very weird. I was cramping every day, just weird stuff. I initially thought that, oh, I might be pregnant. I'm not. So I don't know I'm not really sure what is going on with my body. I do plan to go to a doctor soon to figure it out, but I'm currently just changing my eating habits because I think part of it could be what I'm eating. That's possible. So I think it could be what I'm eating. So I'm just trying to kind of clean out my system essentially, and even drinking detox teas to try and I don't know, help, because it's weird over here. But yeah, so it's been crazy over here. So that is why you guys have not seen much of me on here, and even on my Instagram, I've just been very inactive. So I am back. I am officially going to be consistent again. Hopefully if things go the way that they're supposed to. But yeah, I have missed you guys so much, and I have so many fun videos that I want to bring to you guys this month. So I'm super excited, but today I'm going to be talking about all of the books that I want to read in January. I was originally going to do a new TBR game to kick off the year. I think that's still in the works. But it didn't work out for me to start the year with it, so it bothers my OCD brain a little bit, but we're just going with it at this point. But yeah, so I have 8 books here that I want to talk about. And yes, it was supposed to be a TBR game, but I'm trying to give myself grace this year. I've noticed that I like to put a lot of pressure and expectation on myself, and it's just very unhealthy, and it just runs me absolutely dry. But I do want to be consistent in some way. So for this year, my motto is, I don't need to be extreme. I just need to be consistent. So I'm trying to live by that these first few days of January. And so far it's been really freeing, and it's been wonderful. It's made me feel so much better. So that is kind of my goal for this year, is just to be consistent. I don't need to be extreme. Yeah, and that's why I only have 8 books here to talk about, which could be a little bit ambitious, but I'm really feeling in the reading mood. So I am excited. I have 8 here. And I'm really excited about all of these. So I feel like it's kind of nice to start off the year without a set TBR. I just kind of pick what I want. Also, please ignore this stain right here on I just got this for Christmas, but my laundry detergent or my washer or something is doing this to all of my clothes, and it's driving me insane. So I'm gonna figure out what's causing it so that it doesn't do that, but I need to find a way to get it off somehow. Anyways, that's not the point. So let's go ahead and get into these 8 books. So the first 2 books that I want to talk about are part of our 2 book club picks for a book club that Sydney and I over at Sydney Page Books have created. I'm super excited about this book club. It's called the Coffee Break Book Club. You can find us on Instagram. I will leave the Instagram handle in the description and on the screen. You are more than welcome to join our book club. It's literally just an Instagram page. You follow us, and we will be announcing new book picks every single month. There will be 2 picks every single month, and then at the end of each month there will be 2 separate live shows for those books. So if you didn't read both books, you can tune into whichever live show you want. One live show will be on my channel, and the other live show will be on Sidnies. So if you're interested in joining a book club this year, feel free to join ours. We would love to have you. But I do want to talk about our picks for this month. So the first one that we have is Starfish by Akemi Dawn Bowman. I'm super excited about this one. I watched Chloe over at Books with Chloe read this one for a picking a random book off my shelf video, and she loved it, and I feel like it's gonna be right up my alley. But I'm gonna read the synopsis to you guys. I think I'm gonna do that with all of these books so that you guys know what these are about in case you want to read any of these with me this month. But this says Kiko Himura. I don't know why I said I was gonna read this, because obviously I can't read. has always had a hard time saying exactly what she's thinking. With a mother who makes her feel unremarkable and a half-Japanese heritage she doesn't quite understand, Kiko prefers to keep her head down, certain that once she makes it into her dream art school, Prism, her real life will begin. But then Kiko doesn't get into Prism. At the same time, her abusive uncle moves back in with her family. So when she receives an invitation from her childhood friend to leave her small town and tour art schools on the West Coast, Kiko jumps at the opportunity in spite of the anxieties and the fears that attempt to hold her back. Now that she is finally free to be her own person outside the constricting walls of her home life, Kiko learns life-changing truths about herself, her past, and how to be brave. I am super, super excited about this. I love stories like this. There are trigger warnings for this book, like abuse and just a lot of different things. So keep that in mind if you do want to read this. There are definitely some trigger warnings. But I am very, very excited for this, and I have a lot of high hopes. So I think it's gonna be great. Also, please disregard how I look. I am trying to give my skin a break from makeup because I started breakout recently. So there's no makeup on my face, but just pretend that everything looks fab. Okay, so our next pick is The Beautiful by Renee Ahdieh. I don't know. Who said I can make videos like this? I don't know. This one I'm really excited about. I've heard super, super great things. I haven't heard anybody not like this, and this definitely sounds like a me book. Like, if you guys have been a part of my channel for a while, you already know like my reading taste, and this sounds right up my alley. But let's read this together, shall we? In 1872, New Orleans is a city ruled by the dead, but to 17-year-old Celine Rousseau, New Orleans is a safe haven after she's forced to flee her life as a dressmaker in Paris. Taken in by the Sisters of the Ursuline? Why do all of these books have to have hard names? Like, why can't you just have like Bob and Sally? Like, come on now. By the Sisters of Ursuline convent in the middle of the carnival season, Celine is quickly entrapped by the vibrant city, from its music to its fancy soirees. I don't know French, guys. I think this is supposed to be French. And even its danger. She becomes embroiled in the city's glitzy underworld, known as La Cour des Lions. After catching the eye of the group's enigmatic, literally I haven't even got past the first paragraph, leader Sebastian Saint Germain, when the body of one of the girls from the convent is found in Sebastian's own lair, the second dead girl to turn up in the recent weeks, Celine battles her attraction to Sebastian and suspicions about his guilt, along with the shame of her own horrible secret. After a third murder, New Orleans becomes gripped by the terror of a serial killer on the loose, one who has now set Celine in his sights. As the murderer stalks her, Celine finally takes matters into her own hands, only to find herself caught in the middle of an age-old feud between the darkest creatures of the night, where the price of forbidden love is her life. I am so pumped for this. I am nervous about it now. After reading all of those ridiculous names, I am super excited about this. This sounds like exactly what I want to start off my year. So I'm excited to do this one this month. And I'm excited to talk about them with you guys in the live show. I don't know which book I'm going to be talking about on my channel. I'm not really sure who's doing which live show yet. It's probably going to be whichever one of us likes whichever book more. Like, if she likes Starfish more, then she'll do that one, that kind of thing. So we'll see. I don't know. We haven't thought that far ahead. Okay, so the next book that I have on my TBR that's actually my current read is Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. This has been on my TBR before, and I have attempted this book before, and I got pretty far ways into it, but I don't think I was in like the right attitude to read this book because the writing is very descriptive, and sometimes I'm not like a huge fan of that. And at the time that I read this the first time, I wasn't. And so it just made it really difficult for me to get through this. And I was also highly confused because I didn't really care when I was reading it. So I wasn't like paying attention at all. So that made it a little bit difficult, but I am definitely in the mood for it this time. And Sydney and I are actually buddy reading this one right now. She's farther ahead than I am, but I am really, really excited for everything that this book is going to bring me. This one says, for years, rumors of the Marsh Girl have haunted Barkley Cove, a quiet town on the North Carolina coast. So in late 1969, when handsome Chase Andrews is found dead, the locals immediately suspect Kaya Clark, the so-called Marsh Girl. But Kaya is not what they say. Sensitive and intelligent, she has survived for years alone in the marsh that she calls home, finding friends in the gulls and lessons in the sand. When the time comes when she yearns to be touched and loved, when two young men from town become intrigued by her wild beauty, Kaya opens herself to a new life until the unthinkable happens. Sounds pretty interesting to me. Also, let me just debut, this is my niece's art when she was like less than a year old. It's now in my book, and I think it's gorgeous. I think she did a great job. Anyways, I'm super excited about this book, but we need to start getting through these. We are wasting time here. Next on my TBR, I have Thunderhead by Neil Shusterman. I'm super excited about this one because I read Scythe and loved that book so much. I gave it 5 stars. So I am really excited to go like dive back into this world. It is chunky though. That is the thing. But I think it'll be really fun. And I am really wanting some like sci-fi dystopian feel right now. So I think this could be really fun. I'm not going to read the synopsis of this book because obviously it will spoil Scythe, but all you need to know is this takes place in a world where there are scythes and they are basically ordered to control the population because there's no war, there's no disease, there's no like anything that like there's no natural cause of death that doesn't happen because of the technology that they have and all of that. But they have scythes that basically have to decide like they have to do a certain number of kills per week to like control the population regeneration so that you don't have like 1 million people in one spot. But yeah, it's really great, honestly. It's very creative and also scary. I would not want to live in a world like that. But next I have Bunny by Mona Awad. This one Sidney actually gifted to me for Christmas along with Starfish. But I'm very excited about this one. Sidney read this and loved this. Just like the writing was just very different and it was like weird and creepy, and I really want that. One of my goals for this year is to read more quality books over quantity. Like I don't want to have like, oh, I read 150 books this year and I only liked 2 of them. That would be terrible. So I'm really trying to prioritize books that I think I'm going to love, and I think this is one of them. So this one says, a scholarship student who refers the company of her dark imagination to that of most people, Samantha Heather Mackey is utterly repelled by the rest of her graduation fiction writing cohort at New England's elite Warren University. A clique of unbearably saccharine, I don't know big words, you guys. Yet sinister rich girls who call each other Bunny and seem to move and speak as one. But everything changes when Samantha receives an invitation to the Bunny's fabled smut salon and finds herself inexplicably drawn to their front door, ditching her only friend Ava in the process. As Samantha plunges deeper and deeper into the Bunny's world and begins to take part in their monstrous experiments, the edges of reality begin to blur. Soon her friendships with Ava and Bunnies will be brought into deadly collision. So, sounds super great, but it also like doesn't tell me enough to where like it intrigues me. So I am super excited to dig into this one, and I hope to love this as much as Sidney did. Okay, next up I have It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. This is probably going to be my audiobook of the month because I do have this one on script, and I have been wanting to get to this one. I've been wanting to read Colleen Hoover in general, but I thought that this would be a perfect way to start off the year, and also I need an audiobook for this month, and this one just caught my attention. Oh yeah, this one says, Lily hasn't always had it easy, but that's never stopped her from working hard for the life she wants. She's come a long way from a small town in Maine where she grew up. She graduated from college, moved to Boston, and started her own business. So when she feels a spark with a gorgeous neurosurgeon named Riley Kincaid, maybe, everything in Lily's life suddenly seems almost too good to be true. Riley is assertive, stubborn, maybe even a little arrogant. He's also sensitive, brilliant, and has total soft spot for Lily. But Riley's complete aversion to relationship is disturbing. As questions about her new relationship overwhelm her, so do thoughts of Atlas Corrigan, her first love, and a link to the past she left behind. He was her kindred spirit, her protector. When Atlas suddenly reappears, everything Lily has built with it's Ryle, not Riley. I feel stupid now. Is threatened. With this bold and deeply personal novel, Colleen Hoover. Okay, super excited about this one. Again, I have not read anything by Colleen Hoover, but she is like so hyped right now and everybody reads her stuff. And I just feel the need to get in on that, you know, and see what all of this hype is about. So, okay, next up, I have one more after this one, so we are almost done, don't worry, is A Flicker in the Dark by Stacey Willingham. So I did start this one, but I put it down for a little bit because I just couldn't. But I am super excited about this one. I got this in my book of the month box, and I honestly got it because I really was just drawn to the cover, but now I'm noticing that like this is kind of hype and everybody's wanting to read this year. but let's read it together. When Chloe Davis was 12, 6 teenage girls went missing in her small Louisiana town. By the end of the summer, her own father had confessed to the crimes and was put away for life, leaving Chloe and the rest of her family to grapple with the truth and try to move forward while dealing with the aftermath. Now, 20 years later, Chloe is a psychologist in Baton Rouge and getting ready for her wedding. While she finally has a fragile grasp on the happiness she's worked so hard to achieve, she sometimes feels as out of control of her life as the troubled teens who are her patients. Wow, that was a sentence. So when a local teenage girl goes missing and then another, that terrifying summer comes crashing back. Is she paranoid, seeing parallels from her past that aren't actually there? Or for the second time in her life, is Chloe about to unmask a killer? I am very, very excited about this one. I just love thrillers, and this just seems like a really, really good one. Even when I started it, I was like highly, highly impressed and intrigued. I'm only on page 15, but also I'm loving this one, so I'm excited. And lastly, we have a chunker, okay? It's a big one, you guys. But that is Plain Bad Heroines by Emily M. Danforth. This one I just recently got from Barnes & Noble when they had their 50% off all hardcover sale, and it's huge. I mean, it's ginormous. This is a lot of pages. It's like over 600 pages. But this one sounds super interesting. Okay, get ready. Our story begins in 1902 at the Brookhampton School for Girls. Flo and Clara, two impressionable students, are obsessed with each other and with a daring young writer named Mary McLean, the author of a scandalous best-selling memoir. To show their devotion to Mary, the girls establish their own private club and call it the Plain Bad Heroine Society. They meet in secret in a nearby apple orchard, the setting of their wildest happiness and ultimately of their macabre deaths. This is where their bodies are later discovered with a copy of Mary's book splayed beside them, the victims of a swarm of stinging, angry yellow jackets. Less than 5 years later, the Brookhampton School for Girls closes its doors forever, but not before 3 more people mysteriously die on the property, each in a most troubling way. Over a century later, the now abandoned and crumbling Brookhampton is back in the news when wonderkind writer Merritt Emmons publishes a breakout book celebrating the queer feminist history surrounding the haunted and cursed Gilded Age institution. Her best-selling book inspires a controversial horror film adaptation starring celebrity actor and lesbian it-girl Harper playing the ill-fated heroine Flo, opposite B-list actress and former child star Audrey Wells as Clara. But as Brookhampton opens its gates once again and our 3 modern heroines arrive on set to begin filming, past and present become grimly entangled, or perhaps just grimly exploited, and soon it's impossible to tell where the curse leaves and Hollywood begins. So it's basically like one of those books that's like a story within a story. I don't think I've read anything like that, which intrigues me more about the story, but I am super, super excited about that one. Hopefully I can get to it, because again, that is a huge book, so hopefully I get to it. Yeah, those are all of the books that I am planning and hoping to read in the month of January. I'm hoping to kick off the year really, really strong, because I have been in a slump for the past 2 months, so really hoping that these books kind of stir up my passion again. So we'll see where these take me, but I just want to say a big thank you to you guys for watching this video. I super, super appreciate you guys, and I literally, I'm just so grateful for all of you on the other end of this. It's just wonderful to have people like you that, you know, care for me and am entertained by me. I think it's amazing. But yeah, that's everything for today's video. Thank you guys so, so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!